Well, interesting day of Test cricket. The first day of the second Test match in Mumbai between India and New Zealand. It was a day of attritional cricket, really. India came out with a lot of intent after Virat Kohli won the toss and decided to bat in at the Wankhede Stadium. Shubman Gill, Mayank Agarwal got off to a very good start. Of course, Mayank Agarwal was under pressure. He'd come back to the team after a fair bit, and then he came in to Kanpur, didn't get too many runs there. Shubman Gill had got off to a half century. He again got some runs. He got a start. He got 44. That 80 for no loss. That was the partnership. That was the 80-run opening partnership. However, this is how the day stands at 221 for 4 in the 70 overs that were bowled. Both teams should be happy. India probably the happier team after the way their innings was poised not too many hours back with Ajaz Patel striking thrice in 2 overs. Very, very attritional day of cricket, like I said. Now, what happened? India won the toss, decided to bat. Pujara, beg your pardon. Shubman Gill and Mayank Agarwal came in, batted very aggressively. There was intent, there was purpose. They were dealing in boundaries. They were running the quick runs. Shubman Gill was willing to take the aerial route. Ajaz Patel, meanwhile, after that opening incisive spell from Tim Southee, Ajaz Patel looked like the only New Zealand spinner who could take who could damage and hurt the Indian batting lineup, and he did that. At 80 for no loss, it looked like they had set a solid platform. There was, of course, Cheteshwar Pujara to come. He needed to score runs. There was Virat Kohli making a comeback into the team after a brief break from the game. And that is where the momentum changed for India. What happened? Ajaz Patel bowled a beautiful delivery to Shubman Gill. The ball turned away. There was a missed stumping opportunity. The very next ball, again, Shubman Gill was planted to his crease, tried to drive from his crease, kind of push drive, a ball which was turning away, a simple catch to Ross Taylor at slip. In his very next over, Ajaz Patel struck again. Cheteshwar Pujara survived a close DRS, but he charged down the wicket to take on Ajaz Patel. He was bowled. And then came a bit of a controversial moment. Ajaz Patel again struck in the same over. Four deliveries after getting rid of Pujara. What does he do? He traps Virat Kohli LBW. A huge appeal given by the on-field umpire. A huge appeal by New Zealand, obviously, given by the on-field umpire, Anil Chaudhary. Virat Kohli immediately reviewed it. Now, therein comes the controversy. Virat Kohli thought there was a bit of bat, right? The on-field umpire had given it out. Now, what happens is, once the on-field umpire has made a decision, the third umpire, on review, needs conclusive evidence. TV replays showed the ball was probably bouncing off the bat, but it wasn't conclusive. Was it hitting the pad first, or did it hit that slight edge on the bat first? The third umpire could not quite make a conclusive evidence out of that. But a lot of us who watched the replays constantly on TV felt that probably that was bat first, and Virat Kohli would be hard done by. You could see Virat Kohli was very disappointed. Rahul Dravid was bemused in the dressing room. Kohli on his way out had a word with umpire Chaudhary, but obviously it was too late. The decision had been made already. In fact, the BCCI tweeted out a kind of an opinion poll. They said, this is the clip. Now you decide for yourselves. They asked fans to react on Twitter. That's interesting. In fact, we did a story on India Today Sport. Please, by all means, go do check that out. That was a pretty. I felt that was a pretty ordinary moment of umpiring from the third umpire. It did look like there was enough evidence to overturn the on-field umpire's decision, but because the third umpire felt there was no conclusive evidence, what happened next was they tracked Hawkeye and saw that the ball was pitching in line. It was going to hit the stumps, and it was going to be a pretty plumb LBW decision there. But the inside edge, that is going to be a matter of contention for the remainder of this test match. We'll wait to hear from Virat Kohli and from the Indian camp what they figured and what they thought of that. 80 for no loss at India at one stage. Suddenly, in a span of 3 or 4 overs, they were reduced to 80 for 3. In walks Shreyas Iyer after that sensational test debut in Kanpur. And he was looking good in bits and pieces. He, of course, immediately after the tea interval, a delayed tea interval, obviously play started at 12 in the afternoon. Tea was taken at 2:40. Immediately after the interval, Shreyas Iyer played a big shot, a big aerial shot. Mitchell Santner did brilliantly well to pull that back. It was a sure shot six, but Santner is a brilliant fielder, as are a lot of the New Zealand players. They're fantastic fielders. Who knows? I mean, if he had pouched that up, that could have been more trouble for India. But Shreyas did not last for too long. He did stay on for a pretty important 18 partnership with, beg your pardon, with Mayank Agarwal. That partnership steadied the Indian innings, steadied the Indian nerves, and it was a testimony to how good these players are. You talk of players like Shreyas Iyer, Mayank Agarwal. This is absolutely fantastic to watch. Because a lot of people have seen them in the IPL. They've played for the respective teams. Mayank Agarwal for the last few years for Punjab, Shreyas Iyer for the last few years for Delhi. It's just important to also note that these guys have scored a lot of runs in domestic cricket. Mayank Agarwal has over 5,000 first-class runs. Shreyas Iyer has over 4,000 first-class runs at good, healthy averages, good strike rates, and they come here and convert that kind of talent in the Test arena. Not easy. It's a huge shift in momentum and in quality, but they have done it regularly, time and time again. It was a fantastic partnership. Mayank Agarwal was obviously the more dominant partner. He'd been there, settled, and it was just so good to see them take their chances, not really go into a cocoon or go into a shell, as Indian batsmen have done in a lot of instances over the past. But Mayank Agarwal, he was anchoring the innings. I mean, he scored 100. It's his fourth Test 100. There was no other batsman even got into 30s. Of course, Riddhiman Saha. We'll come to Riddhiman Saha in a bit. Srimanta Majumdar is saying, please talk about Saha. Of course, I'll talk about Saha. But the fact is, no other batsman got anywhere close to the 30s, and Mayank Agarwal was batting so dominantly. 221 for 4, and Mayank Agarwal was unbeaten on 120. So that's more than half the runs for the team on a pitch against a quality attack where Ajaz Patel was getting a lot of turn. It was really good to see, and it was happy for Mayank Agarwal. You could see that in the celebration. He was roaring. He was so happy, pumped up. He really wanted that 100, and the team was so happy. So very happy for him. Riddhiman Saha, of course. We spoke about him after the Kanpur test, coming back to form with the gritty, unbeaten 61, especially with the stiff neck. Luckily for India, he was declared fit. He was declared fit by Virat Kohli at the press conference. And he came in and did exactly what he was supposed to do. 17 dot balls, and then he just comes down the pitch and hits a 6, and he just announces his intention that, look, I'm going to wait, watch, observe, but I'm not here to just get buckled down under pressure. I'm going to score runs and put New Zealand under pressure. In the end, another healthy partnership between Mayank Agarwal and Riddhiman Saha. India 221 for 4. Now they're looking happier, I'm sure. Tomorrow, when they come back, they want to obviously try and get closer to 300. Would 300, 350 be okay on this pitch? There is spin, there was turn, there was bounce. How much can they get? How much can these guys get? There is still a fair bit of batting to come for India. Of course, no Ravindra Jadeja in this test match, but there is R. Ashwin. And then there is Jayant Yadav, who's making a comeback into the test team after 4 years. Jayant Yadav has 100 in the format. He has 100 in test cricket. So you know, and Ashwin has 500s as well. So you know that there is plenty of batting cushion down the order. But it'll be imperative for Mayank Agarwal to carry on. Hopefully for India, he can go and get a big double 100. He's batting unbeaten, 120 overnight. How many can he come and get? How many can Saha add to the tally? And can these two see India closer to 300? That'll be a huge bonus if these two can carry them that far before the others come in and start scoring some useful runs as well. Well, like I said, India 221 for 4 of their 70 overs that were bowled today after Virat Kohli decided to win the decided to bowl and decided to bat after winning the toss. Beg your pardon. Mayank Agarwal leading the charge for India with 120, not out. Riddhiman Saha unbeaten overnight on 25. These two have added a healthy partnership. Remember, this was India were 160 for 4 at one stage, and this is going to do them a world of good. Thank you. And please do join back tomorrow. We'll be back with you in the morning to figure out how the second day is going, whether there is any rain, what sort of impact the time losses had. Of course, India would want to quickly make ground and recover. And they would be the one. India would be the team desperate to win. New Zealand would be very happy to go back from India with a draw, right? Whether light, rain. But India would be the team more desperate to secure victory in this game and win the series. Well, that's that then. This is all I have for you from the opening day of the Mumbai Test match. Please do join back tomorrow Meanwhile, please subscribe to Sports Today and keep supporting us. Thank you. Have a very good evening.